Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Such an amazing day already. Blessed to be here again, sharing what I know. This morning I wanted to talk about stony hearts. And I've talked about this before. I just feel like I need to run it back. A lot of things I see and have experienced, and I'm seeing other people experience. I say, I need to run that back. I need to run that back. So I wanted to talk about the stony hearts. What is a stony heart, right? So this was something that I learned throughout my personal development journey. There are things that I was feeling, things that I was experiencing that I did not understand. Like, why do I feel like this? What is this feeling? And where did it came from? Where did it come from? So we got to trace it. In order to heal it, in order to uncover it, we have to trace it. Where did it first start, right? So for me, it was a stony heart. What is a stony heart? A stony heart can begin to develop early in childhood when pain is felt but not worked through. And when we are children, our hearts are open to our parents as we look to them for love and security. Okay? Each time mom yells at dad, gets angry and slams the door, as a child, we feel it, but we don't know what to do with these feelings. Parents being stressed out and disciplining out of anger can create stones in their child's hearts. And if the painful event is never talked about out of fear of more anger, the child's heart can form stones, hurt after hurt, some stone after stone. A wall of self-protection has formed. A wall of self-protection has formed. And as an adult, a person with a stony heart may have forgotten these childhood events, but the effect of the wall of self-protection is very obvious. They will have overreactions, such as holding things inside and appearing to be just fine. But then all of a sudden, when the pain is triggered, they overreact and blurt out, I'm done, I'm out of here. How many people have overreacted out of one little thing, right? And we see this happening a lot. Like people just like, it wasn't even that big, it wasn't even that deep. But we don't know what they have been holding on to, right? So when you don't know how to express your emotions, you just hold on, you stuff until there's an outburst, right? You might cuss somebody out or fight somebody, right? And it's like, well, they shouldn't, and you blaming that person, but it's not even about that person. It's about things that you have not processed, that you have not released, okay? Another symptom of a stony heart is the inability to stay connected in relationships. This will cause come close, no stay away interactions. Like, this keeps a person with a stony heart stuck in a cycle of feeling unloved. They'll want to be loved, but they can't keep their heart open long enough and trust long enough to receive love. The stones that are formed as a child are now affecting relationships as adult. What does not get dealt with in childhood shows up in your adult relationships. What does not get addressed in childhood shows up in your relationships. And a lot of times, we're in interactions with people and their experiences, right? We meet the people, right? We fall in love with what we see, but we experience what's going on with the inside of them. And a lot of people have stony hearts and they don't even know it. They're not aware of it. I wasn't aware of it either. I was like, why am I feeling this? And when did it first start? And I had to trace it back to childhood. Our greatest need as children is the need for love. That's our greatest need, okay? And they need two types of love, okay? There are two types of love. There's unconditional love and there is conditional love. So unconditional love is the love of the child is pure because it's not based on the child's performance. That's unconditional love. You love the person, you love the child, whether they perform or go to college or whatever. You love them, period. No matter what they do, no matter who they are, that is unconditional love. And then you have conditional love. When parents set high standards and don't allow the imperfections, this gives the child the message that love must be earned. That is conditional love. If you make them grades, I'll love you. If you do this, I'll love you. That is conditional love. And that is not what we do with children. Because then you create performance kids. I got to do this. I got to do this so they can love me. I got to do this so they can accept me. And then we become adults. I got to do this so they won't leave me. I got to do this so they accept me. And we don't even realize what we're doing, but you don't know what you don't know. So new information requires new decisions, okay? So there is, when we are children, the heart is tender and vulnerable and needs protection from hurt and experienced by conditional love, okay? When we are children, the heart is tender and vulnerable and needs protection from the hurt experienced by conditional love. That conditional love hurts. And you don't even realize what you're doing, what you're creating, right? And then this person, this little human, starts building this protecting wall, right? And it's built by stone. It's built stone by stone, hurt after hurt. Self-protecting, they can't trust. Blocking receiving love from others. They don't let people get too close. They keep the real one. It keeps the real you in and others out. Fear of rejection keeps you from being real, okay? Lonely, isolated from meaningful relationships, keeps others at a distance, not sharing who you are. Are these signs that you have experienced, that you are experiencing? Because see, you don't know what you don't know, right? And you do not have to be dealing with a broken heart to be brokenhearted, okay? If you don't guard your heart, whatever you allow in your heart will come out of your heart. You must deal with your heart first. We must do the hard work first, okay? And one of the symptoms, we're going to, here is a symptom to check for. What is coming out of the heart? How do you know you need healing? What's coming out of the heart? You can like listen to people's comments. You can see their interactions. You can see what's going on with their heart. You're like, oh, why they so angry? Why they so mad? Something's going on in the heart. They may have stones, okay? Where there's a tone, there's a stone, okay? What's coming out of the heart, what's coming out of the mouth can be a indication what's going on in the heart that we need to give attention to. Negative, cynical, despair, hopelessness. The heart is sick, okay? You don't have to be dealing with a heartbreak to be heartbroken. You don't have to be dealing with a heartbreak to be heartbroken. There are 10 emotional needs. Emotional needs not being met affect the heart. So these are 10 emotional needs that a child needs from the age of birth to the age of 12. Like these are needs that they need, period. So you have accepted, forgiven, cared about, free, in control, loved, safe, supported, trusted, believed in, and understood. Valued, important, and special. Those are 10 essential needs that a child needs. And these are some essential needs that adults need. They need to be accepted. They need to be appreciated and valued. They need to be cared about. They need to be free and in control. They need to be helpful, needed, useful, productive, safe, supported, trusted, and understood. These are the emotional needs that us as adults need as well. And when it comes to affection, to be touched and held calms you. To be touched and held calms you. A child needs 8 to 10 hugs a day. Did you know that? Did you know a child needs 8 to 10 hugs a day? And it's just so, and if you think about it, kids just love to hug. They would just hug. They're just huggers. And I absolutely loved it. I know one time I was in like a rough space mentally, and I was inside of this grocery store, and this little girl just came up to me and hugged me, and she don't know how much I needed that. So, you need those hugs. You need that affection, especially because we all go through things. We all are consistently going through things. How do you know you need healing? What's coming out of the heart? When your needs aren't met as a child, you become angry as a child. When your needs aren't met as a child, you become angry as a child. The lack of acceptance creates performance people. And if an unmet and it's unmet needed from childhood, okay? Every unmet need is a loss we must grieve. Every unmet need is a loss we must grieve. When your needs are met as a child, your heart becomes When your needs aren't met as a child, your heart becomes stony, hard and stony. The lack of acceptance creates performance people. Not resting in your soul, you have to work through the heart and work through the grievedness of what you lost, okay? A person not showing up for your adult life can trigger the pain from your childhood when your parent wasn't there. And it's like it's like in a file cabinet. When somebody says they can't make it or they can't show up, and you get like triggered, like, I don't know why people don't never do this, and it ain't about that person. It could be something that happened in childhood. And a lot of stuff is stuff that happened in childhood. We just have to trace it, right? Every area where you overreact, pay attention to that, and you can pinpoint the pain that you never dealt with. Let me say that again. Every area where you overreact, pay attention to that, and you can pinpoint the pain that you never dealt with. Okay, you got to trace it. You got to. It'll keep showing up. It'll keep showing up. By the time we realize that we didn't get, by the time we realize what we didn't get as kids, we're grown with kids, right? And then we must grieve what we didn't get growing up. And then we don't know. And then if we didn't get that, how can we give that to our kids if we have not gotten these things? Okay. Easily offended and the stones in the heart are hindered. Easily offended and the stones in the heart can hinder the heart from receiving the word. You have to feel the pain in order to face it and grieve and forgive, right? Easily offended. There is the stone. Easily offended. There's a stone. We have to grieve. We have to feel the pain, face it, and grieve and forgive. Okay. We thought the stone was strong. Oh, I'm strong. Oh, I don't cry. And I don't do this. And that's not normal, because people cry, right? When you was a baby, you cried. Anybody had to tell you to cry, right? Things happen and we form beliefs and opinions about them. And then we live as though these opinions are absolute truths. And it's not. If there's a tone to your voice, there's a stone. Something was triggered and then your voice changed. There's sometimes when I'm having conversations and I notice that my tone has changed. I'm like, let me just chill right now because I'm feeling a little triggered. And I don't know why. Maybe this person's telling me I'm wrong and I'm trying to be right. And it reminds me of a time when somebody said I was wrong about something and everybody laughed at me. Like, we got to trace that thing, because it's not about the experience that you're experiencing. It's about what you have already experienced. Instead of dealing with the mouth, deal with the heart, because that's where the symptom is. Instead of dealing with the mouth, deal with the heart, because that is where the symptom is. And then I talked about the 10 essential needs. And if the needs aren't met, they will run beyond the home looking for these needs. If those needs aren't met in the home, they become adults. I'm telling you, I did. They become an adult out here seeking these needs from childhood, right? Trying to find somebody to give them the attention. Trying to find somebody to make them feel safe. Trying to find somebody to make them feel free, cared about, trusted, believed in. That's why you have to give your kids these things in the home, so that when they hear this outside of the home, my dad already told me that. My mom already told me that. Like, I already know I'm loved, right? They don't have to be convinced that this person cares about you more than your mom or your dad cares about you. Your guardian cares about you. You have to make sure you give your kids these things, because I'm telling you, you can become promiscuous, right? Be looking at people, oh, why they this and why they looking for love? They're looking for acceptance, right? That was me. I'm telling you, because those needs, I didn't get those needs. So I was seeking those things outside of myself. I was seeking those things from people. And when they couldn't give it to me, guess what? I get somebody else. I just kept getting somebody else. These needs had to be met, right? And you'll go seeking those things. It's important to get these needs as a child. And if you're not given that, guess what? You're going to go start seeking it. So there's some times that we have to give ourselves these things that we weren't given growing up. Our parents did the best they could with what they had. Not blaming them, not shaming them, not beating them up. Somebody probably didn't give it to them. And we probably doing the same things for our children, because we don't know, right? You don't know what you don't know. So don't beat yourself up for what you didn't know, because I didn't do these things either. Had no idea about it, didn't even know about it. But I want to share this information now for people that do have kids, right? Give your kids these emotional needs so they don't go seeking this stuff outside of the home, right? Kids joining gangs. That's acceptance. That's love. It's different reasons why they're doing it. Their needs are not being met in the home. So they're seeking these things outside of the home. That young girl who's sleeping with all these people, you don't understand that she's looking for acceptance and she's looking for love, because she never got that in the home. That's why it's important to give your kids these things, because what will happen is there'll be an adult out here showing everything, shaking everything. Need that attention. Just need it. Crave it. Got to have it. would do anything for it. I'm telling you, it's real. It's real. The lack of acceptance creates performance-oriented people, always performing, trying to feel good enough, working 60 to 70 hours, and enough is never enough. Enough is never enough, right? That's that conditional love. Well, if you do this, then I'll do that. And if you don't do that, then I don't love you no more. That's conditional love, right? We should love our children with unconditional love. Good morning, Dawn. We should love our children with unconditional love, because when you place those conditions, now they become adults thinking, I got to do this so they can love me. I got to do this so they won't leave me. I got to do this so they won't reject me. I'm telling you that those stony hearts is important to do that heart check. Do I have stones in my heart? How can I overcome these stones in my heart, right? It all starts with us. It all starts with us, because what's going to happen is you're going to get into relationships, and this stuff is going to show up. It's going to show up. It's going to come like, hello, we never dealt with this. What's up? What's up? What are we doing? Right? And then you begin to you begin to sabotage relationships just unknowingly. I don't know. I just don't let anybody get close. I don't deserve this. I don't want, you just don't even know that, like, we start doing things unconsciously because this has become our beliefs, our patterns, right? And then this is what we do. We need to be an example to talk to our babies and raise them up with animation of God. Yes, we have to love. We have to give them those things while they're young, so they become older adults. They're not seeking this stuff outside. Because I'm telling you, it don't end well. It does not end well if you keep doing that, right? New information requires new decisions. All right. So we got to work on the pain we have to work through this by grieving what we didn't get. Right? We didn't get these needs. We have to grieve them. And we have to grieve those needs we didn't get and forgive and move forward. And now we have this information, right? Now we can be, if we're parents, we can be the best parents we can be. And I don't care how old your kids are. You can still provide these things to them, this support to them, this unconditional love to them. A person cannot show up in your life in adulthood, and it could trigger you from childhood. Like, this person didn't show up. So now I don't trust nobody. And I'm telling you, it's stones. Like, I had so many stones in my heart. I did not realize it until I started working on, until I got into personal development and did, spiritual intelligence, relational intelligence, emotional intelligence. Like, I began to learn about me, because it wasn't always them. We can point the finger at everybody else, but we cannot control them. Because this finger is what we pick these people. We pick this person to do life with. We pick this person to have a baby with. We pick this person to marry. We pick the people, right? So if we are our best self, we're going to pick the best, right? It all starts with us. It all starts with us. And the relationships that we're having are showing us. It's like basically putting a mirror up to you. And sometimes we don't like what we see. Well, what's wrong with them? And it's not them. We have to look in that mirror, because we can't control another person. We only can control ourselves. Okay? We can't change another person. You know how hard it was to change me? Imagine trying to change somebody else. But back in the day, I thought I could. I thought I could change people. I thought that was my job to change and fix people versus looking at me. And all I was doing was like delaying my own personal work. Let me work on them. Let me help them. Let me do for them. Right? What else? Look at the area where you overreact and you can pinpoint your pain. Stones form in the heart when we're children, and after there's been so many stones, it creates a wall of self-protection. You must feel the pain and face it in order to heal it. Okay, you got to feel the pain, face it in order to heal it. It all starts with us. A lot of people avoid relationships. I'm finding out that relationships are a reflection of you, of who you are. And when things don't work out, you begin to see patterns, and that's when you can find out about your unresolved childhood trauma and begin to seek healing. Yeah, you got to trace it, and know those patterns. The problem always leads to there's a problem. There's a pattern. So what's the pattern? I had a pattern of dating emotionally unavailable people because I was emotionally unavailable. I had a problem of dating people who rejected me because I rejected myself and they rejected themselves, right? And all we was doing was like putting the Band-Aids on each other's wounds. And it just never worked. And it's like, why am I in the cycle? So I had a pattern of toxic relationships. But the most toxic relationship I had was with myself. I didn't see myself right. And if you don't see yourself right, nobody else can see you right. Right? Because we allow these people in our lives. We see the red flags and we keep on driving. We keep on riding. Like, oh, you know what? I can sex the red flag green. I can love the red flag green. I can fix them. I can save them. I can rescue them. I'm telling you, that's what I did. That's what I thought. It does not work. Okay? I'm here to tell you it does not work. You have to do your work. You have to do your work. It all starts with us. The people that I dated were either emotionally available or needy. Yeah. And I thought that, I'm telling you, I thought my job was to save people, fix people, and rescue them and heal them. That was Jesus. Like, that ain't your job. And every time it never worked out. I was like, what is wrong? What's going on? Why me? And I could clearly hear the Holy Spirit say, why not you? Why not you? This is why I talk about relationships all of the time, because relationships taught me so many lessons about myself. And right, the interactions you're having with other people, we can't control whether a person stays or goes out of our lives. That person is here to show you how to love yourself better and how to love them. And it's not your job to control who that person is. They are who they are. And if they leave, then let them go. There's some people that just come to teach you something. That's their soul thing, is to come and teach you something and go on about their business. And we try to, don't leave, don't go. Like, why? What's wrong with me? And then that's when all the extra hell start coming, because you holding on to something and he is trying to take out of your life. Okay, I'm telling you, I did that. There's so many signs I saw, and I kept on going. I kept on driving. Blinders. I don't want to see that. I'm going to keep on doing what I want to do, and I ain't going to tell nobody about it, because I want to continue to do it. Because when we get in this dysfunctional cycle, we only want to tell people that's going to co-sign with the dysfunction. So, girl, you like this type of men too. Let me talk to you about this. So this person right here, she going to agree with what I say. Oh, I ain't going to talk to them because they're going to tell me to leave him alone and I'm crazy and I ain't talking to her. I'm telling you, you will go to certain people to condone your toxic, dysfunctional behavior. I'm telling you. And you sit back and you're like, well, I don't understand. Why they ain't tell me about it? They ain't gonna tell you. I mean, if you're the person that's talking reasonable, they ain't coming to you all the time. They don't want to hear that. I want to keep doing what I want to do. And that was me. Me and the person had split up, and I was still going back and forth. And I got to the point I stopped telling people. Because I wasn't ready yet. I wasn't ready. I wasn't sick and tired enough. Right? So that person said something to me, and I was like, oh, okay. I'm complete here. I'm complete here, because they'll keep on hurting you over and over again until you finally say, I had enough. And some people, what I've noticed is some people's tolerance is different. Some people could put up with a lot of stuff, and I'm like, whoo. But that was me until it wasn't, right? When you know better, you do better. We put up with a lot of stuff because we think that this is the best I can do. I deserve this. And you put up with it over and over. And it's like years later, you sitting here like, oh my God, how long? Like, how long? And think about the man at the pool of Bethesda. He sat there for about 38 years. And they was like, hey, I ain't got nobody to help me. I ain't got nobody to... How long are you going to sit here? You want the help or you don't want the help. And some people just are not ready for change. Change is uncomfortable. Growth is uncomfortable. But you know what else is uncomfortable? Staying in the same place years, decades later. I don't want to continue to be in the same spot 10 years from now, 3 years from now. I don't. I want to continue to grow. I want to continue to thrive, not just survive. There's so much information out here. We just gotta look for it. Whatever area you need, I'm telling you. I get these books by this lady named Denise Boggs. And these books help me, and in return, I help other people, because I know that is part of my purpose, is to help other people. Your purpose is an answer to a problem. It's helping somebody else. That's it. You want to know, like, what is my purpose? Helping somebody else, whatever that may be. And it's your biggest thing that irritates you the most. Like, what irritates me the most is women just settling for toxic, dysfunctional relationships because they think that's the best that they can do. And it's not. I'm telling you, it's not. It all starts with us. So I get books that help in those areas. Here's one of them. And that's Healing from Rejection. I think we all could use this book, right? And then grieving losses, because there are people around me that are experiencing losses and I just never know what to say, right? I'm like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. I want to help people. So I learn things so I can help other people, right? And then this is the latest book I'm talking about today, Stoney Hearts. Because, man, we have some stones and we don't even realize we have them. We have stones. And then the latest book I got recently, I haven't started this yet, but this is Healing Unmet Needs. I'm curious to see what this book is going to be like. And these books help me. Also personal development. If you want your life to change, you have to invest in yourself. Because if not, you only know what you know, right? We don't go as far as our dream. We go as far as our team. So it's up to us. It's not your fault that you are where you are, but it's your fault if you stay there. All right. So I invest in myself. I'm in several different personal development courses. I created my own personal development course, J. Rose Transformational Academy. There we have spiritual intelligence. We have leadership intelligence. We have emotional intelligence and relational intelligence. Those 4 key areas will transform your life. I'm telling you, because it happened to me. It happened for me. So I'm adding modules. This is a subscription-based program. And if you want your life to change, make an investment in yourself. I make several uncomfortable investments in myself because you know what? I'm worth the investment. And there are people who know more than what I know. The Bait of Satan. I have that book too, Dawn. The Bait of Satan. I have that book as well. It's another one I have too. I can't think of the name of it. Growth and forgiveness is a must. I'm watching my dad, who has dementia, deal with childhood trauma, PTSD, and he has been married to a woman for 53 years and she's just now finding out about his issues. Wow. And I'm telling you, those issues will come out. They will come out. Like, you can only hide it for so long, right? And once you get married, it's like you see everything. Some things you may not want to see, but it's like it's going to come out. And it needs to come out in order to heal, right? We have to trace that pain, that thing, that pattern in order to change it. Don't keep ignoring it, because you're going to stay on that cycle. You will stay in the cycle if you continue to ignore it. We don't get better by wishing we get better and praying we get better. We get better by intention, right? Investing in those areas that you lack wisdom in. I'm telling you. It all starts with us. It all starts with us. So yeah, that book there helps. And I just wanted to share that because let me run this back for those who joined a little later. I want to give you the definition of a stony heart so you can be aware, you can understand. A stony heart can begin to develop early in childhood when pain is felt but not worked through. And when we are children, our hearts are open to our parents as we look to them for love and security. Each time a mom yells at dad or gets angry and slams the door as a child, we feel it but don't know what to do with these feelings. And parents being stressed out and disciplining out of anger can create stones in their children's heart. And if the painful event is not talked about, of fear of more anger, the child's heart can form many stones, hurt after hurt, stone after stone, wall after wall of self-protection is formed. And another symptom of a stony heart is the inability to stay connected in relationships. The inability to stay connected in relationships. And our greatest need as children is the need for love. That's the greatest need as children, love. And people attend church every Sunday and even become pastors, and they're still just how messed up as people who don't go to church and read the Bible. Yep, they probably have stones. And you can go through life like nothing's wrong, because you're so used to just dealing with it and ignoring it, right? And you just go through life. You can go through life, but then you see when it comes out, what's on the heart comes out. Look at the words, look at the actions. Look at the words and the actions. Because they're human beings. We look at people in church like they're Jesus. They're human beings. Oh, the pastor did this. The pastor is human. The pastor is human. They do human things. They hurt people too. To me, the church is the hospital, and it's full of sick people, right? And sick people go to the hospital so they can get well. Some people need to go to the hospital and go straight to ER, to the intensive care. Okay. They're everywhere. I'm telling you, if it's in there, it's going to come out. If it's in here, it's going to come out. no matter who you are or how high you think you are. Stony hearts. God and I was dealing with some childhood issues I've had. And this is, yes, I'm trying to tell you, you have to trace it. We have to trace it because it can become our identity. Oh, I don't do this and I don't do that. And there's a reason why you don't do that. Because if you think about kids, they just do stuff. They try stuff. They're not worried about what they think. Oh, do I look fat in this? Is my stomach big? They don't care. They try stuff. They fall. They get up. They laugh. They don't worry and care about what everybody says or thinks. Right? They try stuff. I want to be a fireman. I want to be a police officer. I want to be a whatever. I want to go on the moon. I want to go to the moon. Right? And you're like, yeah, you can do it. Yeah, you can do it. But when you come to Delta, it's like, I don't know about that. How you going to do that? People start putting their limiting beliefs, their doubts on you. And it's like, So, yeah, that's where we're supposed to get back to the original us before all of the hurt, all the pain, all the layers that life and people have placed on us that don't even belong to us. Does not belong to us. That's it. That's all I have, y'all. I wanted to share that because it's what I see that's going on right now. And you may not be aware of those stony hearts, right? You may not be aware that there is, maybe you have stones in your heart and you have not even realized it until you just, I shared this information with you. And it's like, wow, do I have stones? And when did they first show up, right? If there's a tone, there's a stone. And how many of us raise our voice when we get triggered or irritated? A lot. If there's a tone, there's a stone. We got to check in. In order to be your best self, you got to do your work. And it's continual work. Personal development is not personal development. It's personal development. And it's never done. It's never done. It's a continual process. I will continually make investments in this area, especially because I want to thrive, not just survive in this area. And when you work on this area, it affects all the other areas in your life. All of them. Every last area. When you get better, the things around you get better. Your picker gets better. Your decision making gets better. You get better. It all starts with you. So I'm complete. I hope this was helpful. And I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. It's still morning. I hope you have an amazing day. I don't know where everybody is in the world, but it's like 8:33 in the morning a.m. Eastern time here. And I'm here every Saturday sharing something that's on my heart. You're welcome. Healing helps you make better decisions. And yes, but it all starts with us. We be looking at everybody else and focusing on them. And it's like, I got to do my work. Charleston, South Carolina. You got a beach right there. I would love to live on the beach. That's my dream one day, to live on the beach. Somebody beach. So yeah, have an amazing Saturday on purpose. And I will see you in the next live or video, whatever I share throughout this week or weekend. Stay in peace and not pieces. Until next time, let me